is an effort to ensure that all have the opportunity to realize the true potential of the human heart, which is infinite. Today, Heartfulness has spread to every corner of the globe, but it originated 75 years ago from this humble home in the bylanes of the town of Shahjahanpur in Uttar Pradesh. This was the home of spiritual pioneer Babuji Maharaj. The genesis of the Heartfulness movement lies in the foundation of the Sri Ramchandra Mission, which was established by Babuji in the memory of his guru, Lalaji Maharaj of Fatehgarh. Babuji's method of spiritual training relied less on philosophy and more on direct experience. He believed that it was not necessary to renounce worldly life to expand one's consciousness. Through heart-based meditation, he made the most refined states of consciousness available to everyone. After Babuji's passing, the movement was guided by Chariji, who worked tirelessly, making it available to people all over the globe. Chariji established centers all over the world where people could come and meditate together. Since Chariji's passing, the Heartfulness movement has been guided by Daaji. Daaji has further extended the scope of the movement and made it more easily accessible. Heartfulness volunteers are now leading initiatives and helping people in diverse fields such as education, health, wellness, agriculture, conservation, and resource management. This International Center for Heartfulness has also been developed under Daaji's guidance. The following film, released on the occasion of the inauguration of Kanha Shantivanam, will give you a glimpse into this special place. The world we live in today is in need of spaces that offer peace, hope, inspiration, and insight. People from all over the world are creating one such place near the city of Hyderabad in India. It is a meditation center. It is a spiritual retreat. It is a major ecological conservation project. It is an institute of learning and development. It is an attempt to create a sustainable community that can be a model for future generations. It is Kanha Shantivanam, an oasis of peace. Prior to 2010, this entire area was largely barren, dry, and arid. At the outset, a massive plantation drive was undertaken, with special emphasis being given to endangered local species. Over the years, the green cover has steadily increased and the landscape has been transformed. The people creating Kanha Shantivanam are drawn together by an aspiration to lead a life guided by the heart and supported by a set of meditative practices. Training in these practices is offered for free. This approach has been called the way of the heart, the natural path, or simply heartfulness. The inauguration of a large meditation hall at the heart of Kanha Shantivanam will commemorate 75 years of Heartfulness. Work on this meditation hall started in 2017, and a dedicated team, assisted by volunteers, has worked tirelessly to make it ready. When a large group of people meditate together, a very special atmosphere is created. Everyone is invited to experience this at the special function being held to mark the inauguration. This will take place in late January and early February 2020. There is a community dining hall that serves free meals 3 times a day, apart from a cafeteria and a restaurant. Prior to 2010, this entire area was largely barren, dry and arid. At the outset, a massive plantation drive was undertaken, with special emphasis being given to endangered local species. Over the years, the green cover has steadily increased and the landscape has been transformed. The people creating Kanha Shantivanam are drawn together by an aspiration to lead a life guided by the heart and supported by a set of meditative practices. Training in these practices is offered for free. This approach has been called the way of the heart, the natural path, or simply heartfulness. The inauguration of a large meditation hall at the heart of Kanha Shantivanam will commemorate 75 years of heartfulness. Work on this meditation hall started in 2017, and a dedicated team, assisted by volunteers, has worked tirelessly to make it ready. When a large group of people meditate together, a very special atmosphere is created. Everyone is invited to experience this at the special function being held to mark the inauguration. This will take place in late January and early February 2020. There is a community dining hall that serves free meals 3 times a day, apart from a cafeteria and a restaurant. Artists from India and overseas are collaborating on many initiatives, and a pottery studio has already been established. Experts from diverse fields like medicine, architecture, management, the arts, yoga and communication are invited to conduct workshops, projects and seminars here. Kanha Shantivanam is constantly evolving. Each one of us may have something to give to and something to learn from here. All of humanity is joined at the heart. All of us aspire to peace and happiness. Yet, our lives are often driven by stress, conflict, and unsustainable habits. This campus is an attempt to provide an alternative. Kanha Shantivanam belongs to us all. Everyone is invited to come home to Kanha. Now, welcome media professional and Heartfulness volunteer, Srimati Uma Prabhu.
Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, under whose visionary and capable leadership India is emerging as a formidable force in the world. Revered Daaji, Aka Kamleshji Patel, the fourth spiritual guide of Heartfulness movement, originally known as Ramachandra Mission, that offers a dynamic and practical approach to relaxation, self-development and meditation, known as Heartfulness meditation or Sahajmarg meditation. Elders and youngsters, brothers and sisters, and my fellow travelers on the path towards eternity. It gives me great pleasure to welcome all of you to this momentous occasion, which marks the grand finale to the year-long celebrations of the 75th anniversary of Sri Ramachandra Mission. Incidentally, today is also Basant Panchami, 148th birth anniversary of Lalaji Maharaj. The celebrations were kicked off at Kanha Shantivanam, about an hour's drive from Hyderabad on Jan 28 last year, with the inauguration of arguably the world's largest meditation hall, having the capacity to accommodate even more than 1 lakh meditators. Spread over 3,000 odd acres, Kanha Shantivanam, the peaceful and serene headquarters of Heartfulness movement, is a virtual paradise on the earth, and it is the brainchild of revered Daaji, a visionary who has transformed this vast tract of once barren land into a peaceful emerald island amidst the city's hustle and bustle, where spirituality reigns supreme. You got to visit this place to experience its deep, soul-stirring vibrations. Kanha is today the seat of Heartfulness meditation, which is a form of the ancient Raj Yoga meditative practice. It offers a simple and practical but life-changing set of meditation practices. Life-changing because a diligent practice is bound to put the practitioners in touch with his or her innermost core of the heart, which is the seat of love, compassion, empathy, and divinity, and awakens one's potential for a peaceful and purposeful existence. The seed of spirituality that was planted at the turn of the 20th century by Sri Lalaji Maharaj, also known as Sri Ramchandra, adopted a formal approach to disseminating meditation techniques when Lalaji's formidable disciple Sri Babuji Maharaj, coincidentally also Sri Ramachandra, launched the Sri Ramchandra Mission at Shahjahanpur in UP in 1945. The mission unleashed a silent spiritual revolution in spirituality with the sole purpose of bringing about an inner calm and stillness, compassion and clarity of thought, among other things. The goal was and still is to enable people to live a purposeful life. Anyone who is over the age of 15, irrespective of caste, creed, religious beliefs, and cultural differences, may adopt these practices. The precious gift of human transformation is offered absolutely free of cost. A guided meditation practice, Heartfulness stands on four major pillars: relaxation, promotes one's well being as it reduces stress and keeps one in a perpetual balanced state of mind. A relaxed mind is more receptive. Meditation makes one centered, helps one to be in touch with the innermost core of the heart, helps to experience consciousness firsthand and to be with the pure you. Regular practice heightens intuition. Cleaning, to be done post your day's work, is a detox of mind. It unburdens your mind, eliminates emotional baggage, deep conditioning and complexities, and fosters unbridled joy. Inner Connect is a simple universal bedtime prayer to be done at sharp 9 p.m. and is dedicated to the welfare of all living beings. When you pray unselfishly for the world, you not only get connected to your own but also to the other hearts praying in unison, creating a deeply positive impact on the atmosphere around you and elsewhere. You are indeed sculpting your own destiny. What differentiates Heartfulness from other systems is its unique methodology of transmission of pranahuti, or the force of life. Those who have experienced pranahuti, including yours truly, will vouch for its ability to induce a deep meditative state that connects one to one's innermost self. This connection is highly beneficial to a person's physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. Relentless efforts by the hierarchy of gurus, including revered Parthasarathi Rajagopalachari, the third in the line of the gurus, and now Daaji, has helped Heartfulness to take root in 160 countries. Today, the spiritual system, without any publicity whatsoever and only through the word of mouth, has turned into a mega movement and is helping over 4 million people, from corporates to government bodies and from international agencies, NGOs, and various communities in learning meditation. Thousands of schools and colleges and over 1 lakh professionals from all the walks of life adopted the Heartfulness practice for their own evolution. Over 14,000 certified volunteer trainers support a network of 5,000 odd Heartfulness centers in delivering spiritual services to seekers who are looking for a sound system to help themselves to be in tune with themselves. We are lucky to have among us our spiritual catalyst, who is spearheading this magnificent phenomenon of human transformation, the present guide of Heartfulness, Daaji. He is a living example of human evolution and demonstrates what an expanded consciousness is all about. We are indeed fortunate to have Prime Minister Modi ji joining the event to deliver the valedictory address. Modi ji is an apt choice for this function, not only because he is the Prime Minister of the country, who is all set to bring about a mega transformation of his complex nation called India, but also because he is himself a higher spiritual being. I, along with my husband Suresh Prabhu, son Ameya, have been fortunate enough to gain some insight into Modi ji's spiritual life during our informal meetings with him, be it as his stint with the Himalayas among the sadhus when he was just 17, that gained him insight into the mysteries of Mother Nature, or his long arduous journey on foot to Manas Sarovar that taught him to align himself with the rhythm of the universe. Modi ji, it seems, always had spirituality on his mind. And I am of the opinion that his clarity of thought, courage to take difficult decisions, and Nishkam Karma Yoga can be attributed only to this. I feel that this is truly an auspicious occasion because two tall entities, one who is transforming an ancient nation into a world power and the other who is designing destiny of millions of seekers, have finally come together on a common platform. This was long overdue, and I sincerely hope that this communion would go a long way in rewriting the spiritual script of the world. Now I request Revered Daji to address this August gathering. Thank you very much.
Most honorable, beloved of many, Wala, Priya, Mananiya, Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. He is a tall personality, matching both material as well as the spiritual realm. Earlier from my childhood, I've been listening to my father's advices, elders' advices, my mother's advices, that it is only through Grihastha life that one can attain the highest. Nevertheless, I could not trust my elders, since great personalities like Vivekananda, Yogananda, about whom we learned in our childhood, they keep calling us, become like them, indirectly. So time came, similarly, just as Modi ji also renounced to a large extent his family life and went out listening to the clarion calls of mountains, Himalayas, at the very tender age of 17. I too left my home at around 17 and a half or so. But my journey was not so long. I reached out to one very ancient, dilapidated temple on the bank of Narmada. This was in the year of 1976. When I was mixing with Aghori Babas who were doing parikramas on the bank of Narmada, by the evening time, when the eldest of the Aghori Babas nears me and says, "Bete, kya chahte ho? Yahan kyun aaye ho?" मैंने बताया, मुझे आपके साथ चलना है, कुछ ज्ञान प्राप्त करना है। तो उन्होंने बताया कि बेटे देख, मेरी उम्र 82-83 साल की हो गई है, बहुत गुमा हूं मैं, बहुत तपस्या की है मैंने, जब से घर से निकला हूं मुझे कहीं ईश्वर दिखाई नहीं दिया, तो वापस घर चला जा, बाहर भटकने से ज्ञान नहीं मिलता है। I took his advice to my heart. I found some authenticity, some sincerity in his advice, in his words. Later on, a month later, only to find a prasikshak or a preceptor in the form of Srimati Draupadi Devi Agarwal. She initiated me into this system. The very first session of meditation aided with this pranahuti, hallmark of Sahaj Mark system of Sri Ramchandra Mission, awakened a tremendous consciousness in me. I was gone, completely gone in the very first session. It was in that session I could see the glimpses, the golden glow, formless, the one that was Paramhansa, Ramakrishna Paramhansa. My head bowed down with reverence and felt that yes, today I have found my Guru in the form of Sri Ramchandraji of Shahjahanpur. It was only a year later that I could meet him. To those who are listening and to those who are not exposed to pranahuti, I must say, it is not Santipath. Santipath is something that comes from outside. Pranahuti is everywhere. Prana is everywhere. It is with the help of a guru of caliber who can lash out this pranahuti into our hearts, almost like a grace, trickling little by little, and transforming our heart to utmost purity, to the extent we can tolerate that purity. Great Swami Vivekananda's words, if I have to put before you, he used to say, the only purpose of any sort of spiritual practice is to heighten your level of consciousness. It is to evolve your consciousness. He would say, we all have available level of consciousness. It is almost like a thin film of water sandwiched between two giant oceans. One that of superconsciousness, another that of subconsciousness. So you can imagine the tragedy with which we are working, a very thin film of consciousness. It is only through spiritual practices we soar higher into subconscious, soar deeper rather, dive deeper in subconscious and soar higher in superconsciousness. Thus, we widen the spectrum. We widen from thin film to as large as possible. And this is made possible or accelerated with the help of pranahuti. What is pranahuti in that case? Who supplies that? There is no ownership to pranahuti. It is there always. It was there before the creation of the universe. It will continue even after the universe dissolves. Prana is everywhere. Just as we need food, nutrition, balanced diet, maintaining physical frame, our sthul sarira. Likewise, to enrich manmaya kosha, vigyanmaya kosha, all those koshas between annamaya and anandmaya kosha, so three, mainly made up of consciousness. It requires regulation of mind, enrichment of mind. That's why we study. But how are we going to enrich the spirit, our soul? The food for the soul. We have to tap into it and enrich our soul. Some people say soul is eternal. Agreed. Soul is self-sufficient. Agreed. What is there to evolve then? If it is eternal, can it evolve? Well, I request that in order to experience this shift in consciousness, rather immediate shift in consciousness, I welcome all those who are true seekers of spirituality, who have an authentic search in their heart, those who like to travel this simple and easy pilgrims on the way towards godliness, they are welcome to try it out. The system established in 1945 under the name of Sri Ramchandra Mission, also known as Sahaj Marg, now is flourishing all over the globe. The system is offered heartfully. That is why it's called the way of the heart, heartfulness way. There is no other reason. Sahaj Marg is all about the heart. Realization of godliness, realization of the self, realization of the Brahman. Everything can happen only in the fold of our hearts. It is in the heart that God resides. When we read Gita, very important aspect where Arjuna is shown Vishwarupa, Lord Krishna says, this fellow is not going to listen to me now. He is not going to fight. He is not going to perform his dharma. In order to remind him, in order to bring some level of heightened consciousness, Lord Krishna benevolently shows him to Arjun his Vishwarup. He could not tolerate. Arjun says, Bhagavan, my dear friend, come back to your original form I can relate with. I cannot bear this form, cannot handle this form. But anyway, you have been benevolent, kind to me, showing me this form. Can you please show us the way for ordinary human beings today and for the future? How are we to understand you? How are we to realize you? He gives a very simple advice. Hridaya me pashyasi. Look myself in thy heart. So when we talk like this, look myself in your heart, show me the form. At the same time, we do understand that he is beyond forms. He is formless. Something that you cannot see with your eyes, hear with your ears, perceive with your hands. It's only in the heart that we feel his presence, and that's why the heartfulness way. What comes in the way? How are we not able to feel the presence of godliness in our heart, despite of tremendous craving in so many people's hearts? We amalgamate our main desire with multifold desires. That becomes a problem. Even a single most desire can come in the way in realizing God. So to transcend, it is not that I should not look after the family. It's not that I should not play my rightful role in the society. No, all these things are very important. But while doing all these things, fulfilling the greater aspirations, they are not considered desires, you see. Karma is one thing, Shrama is another thing. It is through karma that we move towards Brahma Vidya. It is through Shrama that we proliferate in the material world. Both are necessary. Brahma Vidya as well as Bahya Vidya, both are necessary. This is the clarion call, not only of today. Our ancient Bharat Desh, if it has to become a spiritual nation guiding rest of the humanity towards spirituality, we, each and every citizen of India, will have to aspire to become spiritual ourselves. What is spirituality? It's a unified thing, unification. Yoga also means unification of the individual with the universal. If nation has to unite as one entity, every citizen will have to have a common goal, the highest goal. We can fight, we can argue, we can have conflicts. It's okay. We can have differences, so many of them. It's all right. But we must value our interconnectedness, who we are. With purity in heart, with inspirations from above descending all the time, being guided from the heart all the time, we keep moving towards glorious India. I welcome our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji to address us in his valedictory speech on the occasion of this 75th anniversary of completion of Sri Ramchandra Mission. I can go on and on and on speaking about accomplishment of this organization. Few standard things that stands out is meditation. See, meditation of such a height that it takes us to the greatest depths in our heart happens because of pranahuti. That's number one feature. No other system can come close to it. Often I wonder why people waste days and hours of meditation. Most people in reality do not even know how to meditate. They cannot even focus their mind. They cannot even regulate their thoughts. Then how are you going to meditate? I was also like that before starting this meditation. But this touch, spiritual touch of a worthy guru who is capable of transmitting not just face to face, but world across. You could be seated anywhere in the world. You may not even tell your guru that I'm sitting for meditation. But right after initiation, that happens after 3 sessions with the guru or preceptors of the system, one becomes deserving. One starts imbibing those qualities to attract divine grace within those 3 sessions. I am not exaggerating. You can try it and see it for yourself. Millions of people have benefited because of the simple desire, authentic desire from their heart that yes, I would like to experience godliness. But if you come to experience godliness with adamant mind that I have to experience God only in this form, or only in that form, or I must only see Lord Jesus, or I must only see Lord Buddha, or I must only see Lord Shiva, then we'll have a problem. Because the moment you think of Lord Krishna, your imaginations go haywire. You start imagining Krishna that you have seen in Mahabharata serials, perhaps, old or new. Pictures that you've seen of Lord Krishna, and then the imaginations of so many artists. Same thing with Lord Shiva's. Same thing with Ganesha, same thing with Lord Jesus, same thing with Prophet Muhammad or Buddha. Who had seen them? None of us have. Many people had seen them during their lifetimes. How many could understand divinity in them? Was Lord Krishna realized as Avatar Purusha during his lifetime? Was Prophet Muhammad realized as a divine persona, or Jesus, or Buddha? Anyway, second aspect is that one has to be open-hearted with this openness in the heart approach that yes, I'd like to experience that godliness. Remove, with the help of a guru, the desires and regulate your ego. That's number 2. 3, very humbly accept godliness and say, God, without your help, I cannot move even an inch. I need your help. So when we become humble, when we truly invite that godliness in its originality, not as per my wish, not as per my imaginations, or not as per my indoctrination, but open-hearted. Then you don't even need to meditate for 8 hours or 10 hours or in any caves. Your house, your bedroom, your living room, it's sufficient to experience and invite God. This is the specialty of Sahaj Marg, offered heartfully. I welcome you all. I may request Honorable Prime Minister to address us, inspire us, and we'd like to assure you that year after year, we will propagate yoga, our ancient tradition, and we continue carrying that torch as long as we can. With pranams, awaiting for your few words. Thank you.
श्री रामचंद्र मिशन के 75 वर्ष पूर्ण होने पर आप सभी को बहुत बहुत बधाई। बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं। राष्ट्र निर्माण में समाज को मजबूती से आगे बढ़ाने में 75 वर्ष का ये पड़ाव बहुत अहम है। लक्ष्य के प्रति आपके समर्पण का ही परिणाम है कि आज ये यात्रा 150 से ज्यादा देशों में फैल चुकी है। वसंत पंचमी के इस पावन पर्व पर आज हम गुरु रामचंद्र जी की जन्म जयंती का उत्सव मना रहे हैं। आप सभी को बधाई के साथ ही मैं बाबूजी को आदरपूर्वक श्रद्धांजलि अर्पित करता हूं। मैं आपकी अद्भुत यात्रा के साथ ही आपके नए मुख्यालय कान्हा शांतिवन के लिए भी बहुत बधाई देता हूं। मुझे बताया गया कि जहां पर कान्हा शांतिवनम बना है वह पहले एक बंजर जमीन थी। आपके उद्यम और समर्पण ने इस बंजर जमीन को कान्हा शांतिवनम में परिवर्तित कर दिया है। ये शांतिवनम बाबूजी की सीख का जीता जागता उदाहरण है। साथियों, आप सभी ने बाबूजी से मिली प्रेरणा को करीब से महसूस किया है। जीवन की सार्थकता प्राप्त करने के लिए उनके प्रयोग, मन की शांति को प्राप्त करने के लिए उनके प्रयास हम सभी के लिए बहुत बड़ी प्रेरणा है। आज के इस 2020 वाली दुनिया में गति पर बहुत जोर है। लोगों के पास समय की कमी है। ऐसे में सहज मार्ग के जरिए आप लोगों को स्फूर्त और आध्यात्मिक ढंग से स्वस्थ रखने में बहुत बड़ा योगदान दे रहे हैं। आपके हजारों वॉलंटियर्स और ट्रेनर्स पूरे विश्व को योग और ध्यान के कौशल से परिचित करा रहे हैं। ये मानवता की बहुत बड़ी सेवा है। आपके ट्रेनर्स और वॉलंटियर्स ने विद्या के असली अर्थ को साकार किया है। हमारे कमलेश जी तो ध्यान और आध्यात्म की दुनिया में दाजी के नाम से विख्यात है। भाई कमलेश जी के बारे में यही कह सकता हूं कि वो पश्चिम और भारत की अच्छाइयों का संगम है। आपके आध्यात्मिक नेतृत्व में श्री रामचंद्र मिशन पूरी दुनिया और खासकर युवाओं को स्वस्थ शरीर और स्वस्थ मन की तरफ प्रेरित कर रहा है। साथियों, आज विश्व भागम भाग वाली जीवन शैली से उपजी अनेक बीमारियों से लेकर महामारी और अवसाद से लेकर आतंकवाद तक की परेशानियों से जूझ रहा है। ऐसी स्थिति में सहज मार्ग, हार्टफुलनेस, ये कार्यक्रम और योग विश्व के लिए आशा की किरण की तरह है। हाल के दिनों में आम जिंदगी की छोटी छोटी सतर्कता से कैसे बड़े संकटों से पार पाया जाता है, इसका उदाहरण पूरी दुनिया ने देखा है। हम सभी इस बात के भी साक्षी हैं कि कैसे 130 करोड़ भारतीयों की सतर्कता कोरोना की लड़ाई में दुनिया के लिए मिसाल बन गई। इस लड़ाई में हमारे घरों में सिखाई गई बातें, आदतें और योग आयुर्वेद ने भी बहुत बड़ी भूमिका निभाई है। इस महामारी की शुरुआत भारत की स्थिति को लेकर पूरी दुनिया चिंतित थी, लेकिन आज कोरोना से भारत की लड़ाई दुनिया भर को प्रेरित कर रही है। फ्रेंड्स, इंडिया इज फॉलोइंग अ ह्यूमन सेंट्रिक अप्रोच to furthering global good. This human-centric approach is based on a healthy, balanced, welfare, well-being, wealth. In the last 6 years, India has undertaken among the world's largest public welfare program in the world. These efforts are aimed at giving the poor a life of dignity and opportunity. From universal sanitation coverage to social welfare schemes, from smoke-free kitchens to banking the unbanked, from access to technology to housing for all. India's public welfare schemes have touched many lives. Even before the global pandemic came, our nation had increased the focus on wellness. Friends, our idea of wellness goes beyond merely curing a disease. There has been extensive work on preventive health care. India's flagship healthcare scheme, Ayushman Bharat, has more beneficiaries than the population of America and many European nations. It is the world's largest healthcare scheme. The prices of medicines and medical equipments have been lowered. The popularity of yoga is known to you all. This importance to wellness is aimed at ensuring our youth stay fit and they do not have to deal with lifestyle-related disease. When the world needed medicines for COVID-19, India is proud to have sent them all over. Now, India is playing a central role in global vaccination. Our vision for wellness is as much global as it is domestic. Friends, the world is looking at health and wellness very seriously, especially after COVID-19. India has much to offer in this regard. Let us work towards making India a hub for spiritual and wellness tourism. Our yoga and Ayurveda can contribute to a healthy planet. It is our aim to present this to the world in a language they understand. We should scientifically elaborate on their benefits and invite the world to come and rejuvenate in India. Your own heartfulness meditation practice is a step in that direction. साथियों, पोस्ट कोरोना वर्ल्ड में अब योग और ध्यान को लेकर पूरी दुनिया में गंभीरता और बढ़ रही है। श्रीमद् भगवत गीता में लिखा है, सिद्ध सिद्धियों समो भूत्वा समत्वम योग उच्यते, यानी सिद्धि और असिद्धि में समभाव होकर योग में रमते हुए सिर्फ कर्म करो, यह समभाव ही योग कहलाता है। योग के साथ ध्यान की भी आज के विश्व को बहुत अधिक आवश्यकता है। दुनिया के कई बड़े संस्थान ये दावा कर चुके हैं कि अवसाद, डिप्रेशन मानव जीवन की कितनी बड़ी चुनौती बनता जा रहा है। ऐसे में मुझे विश्वास है कि आप अपने हार्टफुलनेस कार्यक्रम से योग और ध्यान के जरिए इस समस्या से निपटने में मानवता की मदद करेंगे। साथियों, हमारे वेदों में कहा गया है, यथा द्योषच पृथ्वी च न विवितो न ऋष्यतः एवा में प्राणमा विवेहे, यानी जिस प्रकार आकाश एवं पृथ्वी न भयग्रस्त होते हैं और न इनका नाश होता है, उसी प्रकार हे मेरे प्राण तुम भी भयमुक्त रहो। भयमुक्त वही हो सकता है जो स्वतंत्र हो। मुझे पूर्ण विश्वास है कि सहज मार्ग पर चलकर आप लोगों को शारीरिक और मानसिक रूप में भय मुक्त बनाते रहेंगे। रोगों से मुक्त नागरिक, मानसिक रूप से सशक्त नागरिक भारत को नई ऊंचाइयों पर ले जाएगा। इस साल हम अपनी स्वतंत्रता के 75वें वर्ष में भी प्रवेश कर रहे हैं। आपके प्रयास देश को आगे बढ़ाएं। इन्हीं कामनाओं के साथ एक बार फिर आप सभी को बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं। धन्यवाद।
Daaji, Honorable Prime Minister, I heartily welcome you whenever chance permits. Please do visit this Kanha Santivanam. Time permitting, I would request you to also join us so that we can meditate together. Those who are joining us from all over the globe and are new to this meditation, it's a very simple way. You have to simply sit and relax in a waiting mode, being receptive. Transmission or pranahuti I mentioned to you in my briefs. With an open mind that God, I like to experience your presence, however you are, without my conditions. Imagine that there is divine presence already there in my heart, which is drawing my attention inward. Meanwhile, you will all receive pranahuti. You can send your comments after you have finished this meditation. I'm very eager to see the results. We'll be sitting for almost 25 to 30 minutes. Later on, if you like to join us for the next session of meditation, you can join us tomorrow at 9 in the morning, 17th February, 9 in the morning. Similarly, if you like to receive these 3 initiatory sittings, you can all join us at 9 p.m. anytime. If you like to share that you are so and so and meditating from such and such a place, it will help me. 9 p.m. your local time, anytime, anywhere. So let's meditate now. Let's start. I like to share something with you all, something which is very profound. Earlier, at some point, I had said why it is necessary to complete our journey as early as possible while we are younger. One of the reasons I cited was that once we move above the Pinda Pradesh, having crossed Kanta Chakra and we are in the Brahman Mandal, that's when one starts feeling a state of liberation within the body itself. But later on, as we traverse through 6, 7, and 8th point, where right behind the 7th point there are two chakras, sub-points. Babuji calls them, one is that of passion and another that of Saraswati. Today, on this auspicious occasion, our dear Daaji Maharaj's birth anniversary celebration, he was born on Basant Panchami, and we celebrate Basant Panchami in a traditional way as well, invoking the presence of Devi Saraswati, offering our love, offering our reverence. This Saraswati point and the point of passion, they are almost superimposed. You cannot separate them so easily. So, whenever someone is working on Saraswati point so that we may get greater knowledge, you cannot escape its influence on passion point. Even when you have felt liberated, yet there will be times where you will be overwhelmed by passion. It is what we call contact influence because of this passion point. Unless we master our desires completely, transcend them completely, you will not have the visualization, inner or internal vision of Saraswati point. So it is, I think, incumbent upon us to realize what we were sharing in the morning. Vishaya, treat them as Visham. All kinds of Vishayas. Point B is not only related to sexual sensations, but all kinds of sensual sensations. Someone overwhelmed, for example, a person of a very high caliber like Ramakrishna Paramahansa, he was always enamored by food. He was a foodie, as they say in modern world. So one day, Sarada Devi got very annoyed with him. You're such a great saint, पूजा करते हो, खाने के पीछे ही पड़ जाते हो. Good smell from the kitchen and he runs to the kitchen for food. What are you cooking? He would relish food. But he warned her, the day I refuse taking food, 7 days from that day, you will not see me anymore. I will be gone. Certain saints, they need to be hold on to this bhumi with certain habits, certain burden, something to tie them up with. His was food. And precisely the day he refused taking food, Sarada Devi could not offer him the plate. It dropped from her hand because she recollected that now, 7 days from today, he will not be there. So sensuality is not just sexual, it can come in any form. Passion also of anything. Generally, people misunderstand passion directed only towards sexuality, because large part of humanity is suffering with that. So when we work on that in regulating all kinds of sensation, not just one, then there is a possibility of having a glance into this Saraswati chakra endowed with a lot of knowledge, divine knowledge. Anyway, this is just a thought in passing, and why they are superimposed, and why the point of passion is clouding the Saraswati point. Thank you all.